Think the iMac Pro is canceled? Think again. We just got confirmation that Apple is working on 2 brand new iMacs with Apple Silicon chips from Mark Gurman, who also gave us some very specific and important details that can help us answer a lot of important questions, including the differences between both iMac models, the pricing that we should expect, the chip options for each one, the features, and of course, the release dates. So let's jump right into it. Over this past weekend, Mark confirmed that Apple's long-awaited 24-inch iMac refresh is going to be coming with an M3 chip either later this fall or in the spring of 2024. And I completely agree, because if the iMac was going to get the current M2 chip, they would have unveiled it at WWDC. But that didn't happen, so it's gonna have to wait until the M3 chip is ready, which will likely be later this fall, which in my opinion points to a release date of the M3 24-inch iMac in the spring. And as far as the features, specs, and details, I'm expecting this iMac to literally just be a chip swap and nothing else from the M1 over to the M3, with Apple skipping the M2, which is basically giving it a 3-year kind of TikTok update cycle. Now, the 24-inch iMac that we have right now is already great in terms of design, and really nothing else needs to be updated except for the chip and the wireless specs. That is all. So with that said, let's jump into the juicy details about that larger iMac and what to expect from that. Almost exactly 1 year ago, Gurman gave us some new details about Apple still working on a Pro iMac, saying that we should expect it to come after the M3 iMac in 2023, and we should expect it to have the M3 Pro and M3 Max chips. But the big new detail is the confirmation that the display size will actually be larger than 30 inches, finally shutting down the leaks of it being a 27-inch iMac Pro refresh. Now, if you don't remember, Ross Young has been talking about the 27-inch iMac Pro for a while, which he then said could have been the display because of the whole Apple Studio, and then a new display that's gonna have XDR specs being 27 inches. So probably because of that, we thought it would be a 27-inch iMac Pro refresh, but also the other part of that probably stemmed from sources who tested prototype Apple Silicon iMac models, which had 27-inch displays, with the most recent prototype last year being a 27-inch model with the new redesign that we have with the 24-inch iMac, but in a black chassis like the old iMac Pro, and including an M1 Max chip, which proves that Apple is working on an iMac Pro style replacement. As far as the 30-inch display, I think that makes the absolute most sense. Why? Well, because if you look at the 27-inch iMac Pro, there was a ton of bezels around the display, a ton. So they can literally keep the general size of the chassis the same, but with new thin bezels, being able to give us a 30-inch display, maybe even with rounded corners, making it look very, very good just by slimming the bezels alone. Now, as far as the other aspects of the design, I believe Apple is gonna keep the chin on the bottom of the 30-inch iMac Pro. Yes, keep it, and that's because I believe they're gonna once again put the entire logic board with the chip and everything, the cooling, within just the chin of the iMac Pro. Now, as far as the chips, I believe that the M3 Max chip is gonna be the highest chip you can get in the iMac Pro. I don't think the Ultra is gonna work out. I think it's just way too much to cool down within a thin iMac chassis, and I think they want to keep the Ultra reserved for the highest end Macs, like the Mac Studio for $4,000 or the Mac Pro. They want to keep that exclusive, so I think the iMac Pro is just gonna have the M3 Pro and the M3 Max. That way they have a really nice lineup going from the regular M3 chip iMac, then the iMac Pro with M3 Pro and Max, and then the Ultra with the desktop high-end machines. And then of course, let's talk about the features. I honestly think that they're gonna be basically the same. Everything's gonna be locked down, unified memory, no more changing your RAM inside your iMac Pro. That's not gonna happen anymore. Maybe we're gonna get some new features like Face ID integrated into the display right above, kind of being hidden. That would be really awesome. But other features, I'm not really sure what they could add. Maybe they could figure out a way to add like a wireless charging MagSafe pad built into the iMac Pro, but that's probably not likely. And now let's finally finish off with the pricing by using two different methods. The first one is to look at the old relationship between the Intel 27-inch iMac price and the MacBook Pros. Well, first of all, the 5K iMac back in 2018 was $3,000 with these upgrades compared to $3,500 for the 15-inch i9 MacBook Pro. So the MacBook Pro has always been more expensive than the iMacs. Even though the iMac is actually faster with faster dedicated graphics, the MacBook Pros were always marketed as more expensive. So the conclusion here is that the 5K iMac was priced cheaper, even though it had a larger display and it was faster, so we can expect the same thing to go forward with the new 30-inch iMac Pro. And then method two is to look at the relationship between the current 24-inch iMac and the MacBook Airs, which share basically the same chip. Now, the M1 iMac was priced the exact same as the M1 MacBook Air when it first came out, which now that has been discounted to $999. So the iMac currently costs the same as the brand new 15-inch MacBook Air, which is honestly less expensive than everybody thought it would be. So I expect the price of the new M3 24-inch iMac to stay the same as it currently is, $1,300, or it might get a little bit less expensive. But for the 30-inch iMac Pro model, we can conclude that the 30-inch iMac with the M3 Pro chip will probably cost around $1,800 to $2,000, close to or as high as the 14-inch MacBook Pro. And then the M3 Max chip version is likely going to cost around $2,300 to $2,500, since the Max chip upgrade right now itself is a $500 upgrade compared to the M3 Pro, because you also have to upgrade to 32 gigs of RAM on the M3 Max. So with that said, let's answer the original question. Should you wait for the M3 Pro and Max 30-inch iMac? Well, honestly, I think that's only going to be coming around 6 months after the MacBook Pros with the M3 Pro and Max chips. And those are only going to come about 6 months after the regular M3 chip, if not 9 months later. So if we're expecting the M3 chip to come later this fall, then we shouldn't expect the 30-inch iMac until the end of 2024 at least, or probably more likely the spring of 2025, which is a very long time to wait. So honestly, if I was a buyer right now, I wouldn't wait. I would probably just get the M2 Max Studio for $2,000, which is a killer deal, and the Studio display, because all of it just works so well. And if you really want an all-in-one system, I think the new M3 iMac that's going to be coming maybe later this year or the spring is going to be a great option as well. So let me know your thoughts on these new leaks down in the comment section below, and click the circle above to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.